think I took over the franchise like 4 days before the last Gen Con. So it's kind of my one-year anniversary. So thank you for all coming out to celebrate. And I could not be happier to show y'all what we've been up to for the past year. This year has been a year of intense planning for the D&D
So I have to go live on my bonus
so I can't wait
channel.
to go through it with y'all tonight. So hopefully you're all ready to have some fun and see some surprises.
If he announces we'll fly over there and slap him. Oh my God.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Dan, and I've been playing D&D since I opened my red box when I was 12 years old. And I just became an instant fan, and I have never stopped playing. I mean, this launched a love of D&D for me that stayed with me, honestly, my whole life. So, you know, as some of you may have heard me say throughout the year, it's been both a dream and a fucking terror at the same time, having this job that means so much to me every day. So, you know, one of my biggest goals coming in was to bring everyone back to the table, right? Get everyone back and remind everyone why D&D has been what it's been for the last 52 years. And to bring it back, that's the theme, right? Bring it back to all of you. Bring it back to our players. Bring it back to the hobby stores.
It's slightly higher than your voice, just FYI, if you talk at the same time as him.
Okay. It belongs. Top of mind for all of us.
I'll turn it down a bit more.
So, this is more than a game. This is a
How's that?
cultural
Can you still hear him?
That has touched every aspect of entertainment. But we can never forget the soul of Dungeons & Dragons. The soul are the players around the table, right? Building adventures together, building memories together. And that's the theme of this whole night tonight. We're going to talk about how we're going to help protect that experience and grow it for the next 50 years or more.
Yeah, what are your guys' predictions? What do you think they're going to say?
So today marks a new tradition for us. An old D&D tradition, Gen Con. This is going to be our big show from now on. And as I said at Gamma, every Gen Con we're going to share our upcoming roadmap with you for the coming year. So we got a lot to get to tonight. So yeah.
I may or may not know everything, by the way.
All right, Theo,
I may or may not
allegedly
be in like a creative program and they've told me everything, but I can't say anything because there's an NDA until this finishes.
You know, it does look a little sparse on details, Dan.
Yeah, you know, while I'm looking at it, I think you're kind of right.
Spell a jump
okay, that's fair. But you know what? Let's check again as we go through. I think that may fill out. Let's
Hopefully
talk about
just new books,
the new
5.5
dawn of
needs
D&D.
it for real. Yeah, I would like
what
just a
that
ton
means
more
is
content.
Everyone should have a D&D experience that speaks to them. Dungeons & Dragons is 52 years young, and that means that we have the responsibility of ensuring that all of our players.
He's already said that they're going to be doing this every month, every year at Gen Con now. They're going to be doing bigger
really cool,
keynotes,
some might
which I think
say
is a good
selfish
thing.
opportunity for me to bring our history back to the forefront. You know, I stand here tonight, I acknowledge, on the shoulders of giants. And these icons still have many stories left to tell. And I had a few goals coming into this job, and one of them was to create a dedicated line of D&D around these classic creators. And you know, a couple of days into my job, at this very event last year, I sat down with someone was going to be a quick lunch. I think we ended up being together for like 3 hours. And we connected around our memories around Dungeons & Dragons, and we decided in that meeting to make it happen. So let's talk about that. I am so honored to bring up my collaborator and friend to talk about our first new line of the night, D&D Icons.
Well, you'll know it's true by the end of this.
Chief Creative Officer of D&D Icons, Mr. Joe Manganiello.
What? What's D&D Icons?
Make some noise, Gen Con!
Man, I'd be such a bad MC.
Wow. Yes. What's an icon? No.
Like, how big is it?
An icon could be an emblem. It could be a symbol representing sacred events, sacred gatherings, or a person widely admired, having great influence or significance, a sacred individual. We're gathered here at Gen Con 59, which is short for the Geneva Convention, which was founded in 1968 at the Horticultural Hall in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. by none other than
actor.
Ernest
the
Gary
old one
Gygax.
had an injury or something,
The
right?
inaugural event attracted somewhere
He
around
says AI.
96 Midwest wargamers, which for the time was an absolute coup. Today, the festival welcomes upwards of 70,000 people annually from all over the world. And the plans for next year are going to make it possible to accommodate even more. Now, no one can deny the power and vast influence of those 3 rules pamphlets that Gary typed up on a Smith Corona typewriter at 330 Center Street back in 1974. And no one could have predicted that those first 1,000 brown boxes that he named Dungeons and Dragons would contain an American art form that would inspire generations to get together in groups and tell stories together. And we're all here today because of him. And I'm here today to ensure his place on the Mount Rushmore of tabletop gaming by building a bridge to his work that was interrupted back in 1985. And for the first time in 40 years, his original fantasy setting will return to Dungeons and Dragons as curated at his request by his son. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to Icons, Luke Gygax and the return of the world of Greyhawk.
Greyhawk, Luke Gygax. I was on Twitter earlier and someone was comparing WotC to Hitler.
Hey, thank you. Hello, everyone.
Of how much they hate Gygax.
Thank you very
so
much
hopefully
for that warm welcome and for hyping me up, Joe. That was an awesome introduction. This is an incredible moment for me personally to be working on Greyhawk and Dungeons and Dragons, and being part of the Icons is amazing. To be able to put the Gygax name on the front of an official Dungeons and Dragons product, again, is something I never dreamed of. Absolutely amazing. And what better could I be working on than Greyhawk through the eyes of my character, Melf. And I know we're calling it a return to Greyhawk, but Greyhawk has never left. And it's going to be amazing to have new 5e Greyhawk material.
Didn't they already announce 5.5 would be based on Greyhawk? Well, the original it's a big part of the setting. Dungeon Master's Guide, for sure.
Throughout the game, whether it's heroes, villains like Vecna, spells like Melf's Minute Meteors or Melf's Acid Arrow. But it's been around, since the 70s, before even the Gazetteer was published. And that's just a testimony to the power of the original Dungeons and Dragons setting. And I'm very excited at what D&D is doing, and we'll hear more about that from Justice Arman in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Luke.
That's cool, though. Bringing on, like, Luke Gygax, and I think just fixing that bridge.
You've all heard the phrase, name a more iconic duo. Well, there isn't a more iconic duo in fantasy for me than the next 2 people.
Mentioning Vecna and looking at Joe foreshadowing.
I became obsessed with a series of New York Times best-selling fantasy novels. And I read them so quickly and so voraciously.
Foreshadowing what?
That I turned to shoplifting to feed my habit. Now, when I see these 2 people out in the wild, I always make sure that I buy them dinner to pay for the
temptation to breach my
they didn't get.
When you guys say stuff.
I had a red box on my shelf previously, but I didn't fully understand how to create and inhabit a fantasy world until I found Dragonlance. So my first phone call as the Chief Creative Officer of Icons went to these 2 in the hopes that maybe they'd come back one more time, back home, to reestablish 40 years of canon and properly relaunch one of the most beloved and impactful fantasy settings of all time, and my absolute favorite. Ladies and gentlemen, no D&D Mount Rushmore would be complete without Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman and the return of Dragonlance.
I wonder how much of this is Joe Manganiello, and how much of or how much he's just a front-facing kind of like showman for the whole thing. Like, is he really the one out there curating these people and contacting
40
them?
40 years ago, I was a young
If so,
man in my 20s. and I was driving across the country, across the Great Plains of the United States, desperate. Every job that I had had up to that point, I had failed at. But I had been offered an opportunity to come to TSR and to write Dungeons & Dragons. My wife and I, as we traveled across the country with our
it does feel like they're appealing to the original fans of D&D.
And somewhere
as in
in
the people
Nebraska,
who got into
started
it in the
talking
80s.
about what we could bring
that's
to
probably
TSR
where
that would justify them paying
right now
us
D&D has
actual
a
money
pretty big gap to bridge.
To write D&D. We had this world that we had thought of that had warriors riding dragons into battle. I wanted to call it Dragon Back. My wife thought it was a little too soft. And somewhere on those plains, Dragonlance was born. In the 40 years since that took place, we found a new home, a better home. A home that we have shared with all of you, and which you have kept alive through these decades. And now, I am so happy and proud to announce that we are bringing Dragonlance back home to D&D.
I've never played a campaign in either a Greyhawk or Dragonlance
We
setting,
are finding new ways to explore the world.
I'm looking forward to
make
this.
it richer, deeper, and more importantly, to bring it into your hands as dungeon masters and gamers. We want this world.
We've not had a proper
to be
Dragonlance
yours.
book for a while.
And it is our gift to you.
Actually, we had
We
one.
cannot be
Not too
here
long ago. We've not had a 5.5 either.
forever. But in giving this gift, this world to you and putting it in your hands to create, we will know that home will always be there for you.
Do you guys think you'd be good at speeches like this?
Ooh. Like a lot of people my age, I grew up at a time when Dungeons and Dragons was unjustly vilified.
Am I
and
live
blamed
on
by
YouTube still?
parents
What's
and the
happening?
religious right
My
for
YouTube's
death
freaking out.
and destruction and the overall corruption of the
there we
youth.
She's buffing.
There were book burnings and witch hunts carried out by evangelists, and even a piece by Ed Bradley in 60 Minutes with your dad that unjustified went after Gary. But we were the generation that was galvanized by this pressure. We knew they were wrong, and it brought us all together. And we're now the generation that's in control of music and entertainment and art. And guess what? We can do what we want. And we want to play Dungeons and Dragons. You know, there was always something alluring and dangerous about D&D back in those days. It felt scary, like we were all doing something we shouldn't have been doing. Like those orange spine books and box sets were magical tomes and grimoires containing portals to new worlds and spells that could transform our ordinary lives into extraordinary adventures. And that is exactly why I created Death Saves. At first, it was a way to harken back to the aesthetic and feel of that era through streetwear, but now it will serve as a vision of doom for the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse, as a playable world shaped by world-shattering events. The Blood War is ended, and darkness prevailed, and the world hangs on by a thread. You and your companions can seize the opportunity to take the battle to the doorstep of the Demon Lords. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now, because we'll be playtesting it tomorrow live for the first time here at Gen Con, so you'll all be able to get a sense of the depths. The Death Saves will be taking Dungeons & Dragons into the future. And due to popular demand, yes, I'm relaunching Death Save Streetwear with a special D&D capsule collection centered around the visionary art of Gerald Brom.
Feels like a weird ad.
I mean, if we're back, we're back. Brom is best known for creating the look and feel of the post-apocalyptic D&D world of Dark Sun.
Merch from his company.
Will be given out to the first people in line for the live play tomorrow, and then the full drop, I think, will probably land somewhere around New York Comic Con. So just stay tuned for that. And one more thing, as if all of this isn't enough, I brought a secret weapon tonight. No D&D Mount Rushmore would be complete without this person. Look up here. Any guesses? Responsible for creating the most popular and enduring character in Dungeons & Dragons history, whose books appeared more than 20 times on the New York Times bestseller list, with over 50 million books in print in a dozen languages, one of the most prolific writers and world creators in fantasy history, who took Ed Greenwood's Forgotten Realms and added a basement to it. Here to tease a special top secret upcoming project with Death Saves and Icons, the one, the only, the father of Dritz de Worden of Derman Neshez Baron and the ninth house of Menzo Baranzan. You call him R.A., but I call him
mostly
Bob
here to
Salvatore.
Push his Death Saves company. Fair enough, though. Fair enough.
Hello. I got to talk? I just got off a plane. Yeah, about 2 weeks ago, they said, hey, come on out to Gen Con. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, you'll see. This feels really great to me because, I've been with TSR since 1987.
I've only read one of his books. I've only read Homecoming. I liked it.
But it's starting to feel new again a little bit, and that's what Joe's been going for.
Yeah, he's creating a setting specifically for his merch.
We got some big plans just starting to stir, and I've
got to think on that for a little bit.
Okay.
It feels
as long
weird.
as I kill Wookiees, I'm happy. This actually brings me back to like my first Gen Con because I really haven't been around here much lately. And back in those days, I still remember the phone call when this whole thing started. And
we don't know. We don't know if
I won the audition to do the second Forgotten Realms book. And then Mary Kirchhoff calls me up, and I had used one of... am I supposed to be reading that? Because I can't even see it. Mary Kirchhoff calls me up, and she tells me I can't use Doug Niles' character because that's in the Moonshae Isles. And she says, we want it in the Forgotten Realms. I'm like, all I know are the Moonshae Isles. There's no book out. There's no anything. So she had me come up with a character off the top of my head because I need a sidekick for Wolfgar. And I said, all right, I'll get back to you next week. I'm at work. I'm working as a financial analyst at the time.
I like him.
And I said, she says, no, you don't understand. I'm going to a meeting. And I need a sidekick for Wolfgar.
They make their homebrew setting, but it's also their clothing brand into an official D&D setting. Kind of weird.
I won't take lunch at work. I'll come up with something.
I presume D&D wanted Joe Manganiello for
no, you don't understand.
His celebrity.
I'm standing across the hall.
Joe Manganiello wanted D&D, so he could.
I'm standing across the hall from the room where they're waiting for me.
Into that world,
and I have to sell your book to the sales force. This is really important. I need a sidekick for Wolfgar.
Merch
and I don't know why, and I don't know how, but off the top of my head, I said
for another company
drow elf
in my D&D.
And she says,
keynote.
A drow? I said, yeah, a drow. Now I start thinking about it. I'm like, this could be fun. And she goes, you want to do a drow? I said, yeah, a drow ranger. That'll be cool. Nobody's ever done that. She says, Bob, there's a reason. And I said, no, it'll be cool. And we're going on and on and on. Finally, she's like, you can't do that. I said, I want to do that. And we kept going and going and going. And finally, she just says, all right, we don't have any more time. You can do it. What's his name? I don't know how, and I don't know why, but I said, Dritz de Worden of Derman Neshez Baran, the ninth house of Menzo Baranzan. Long pause. And she says, what? What's a Menzo Baranzan? I said, I'll come up with something. She says, okay, Dritz de Worden of Derman Neshez Baran,
I'm happy for Joe, I guess.
Now I got it, right?
Look, I mean, I'm making. It's just a
said,
funny
no.
thing for him to come on and advertise his merch.
And that phone
He
call,
could make a
and
kick-ass
here I
setting.
am,
I hope he does.
Too many years than I want to count later. Back
go
at
for
Gen
it.
Con.
But, yeah,
It feels
it's
like
just
it's
funny.
all new again. So, thank you.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello from One Piece. And True Blood.
We've all
Was he in True Blood?
assembled here in the inn
What was he? A
where it all started
werewolf in?
to reignite and carry the torch that is D&D's heart and spirit forward into the future. Behold, the first wave of Dungeons & Dragons icons.
He also, I'm hoping he was joking, but he was kind of stood being like, what is an icon? It's someone celebrated. It's someone who stands out. It's someone amazing. And I am one of them.
Like Luke said, if you're excited about Greyhawk, good news. There's more than one vision of Greyhawk coming. Now, let's welcome D&D's game design director and the lead for the upcoming Greyhawk adventure book, Justice Ramin Arman. Make some noise, people!
What I'm unsure about is whether this new Greyhawk book
Back at GaryCon 2024, during
is the
D&D's Year
same
of the Dragon
thing
celebrations,
that they've got
we hosted a
Gygax
tournament
working on.
adventure for the 5th edition update of S4, The Lost Caverns of Sajkant, originally created by Gary Gygax in 1976. That adventure introduced us to Drelnza, the vampire daughter of Igwilf, the Witch Queen, perhaps better known as Tasha. After that
Tasha.
adventure's debut, we're returning to Greyhawk and expanding Drelnza's story, and you can play a part in it. Greyhawk, Crown of the Witch Queen, is a full-length adventure set in the world of Oerth.
Nah,
The
we're just getting
adventure
started,
surrounds
Humble.
the return and ascent of Drelnza, who seeks to follow in her mother's evil footsteps and become Greyhawk's newest Witch Queen. Between Luke's projects and Crown of the Witch Queen, Greyhawk's fans are going to be
Okay,
well-fed.
so Luke's projects
Thank
are
you,
different.
everyone, and happy Gen Con.
So we're getting this Greyhawk book. Okay, this is something different, guys. This is wild, by the way. This is the kind of music I need when I go to the gym. We get Dark Sun. That warning was on screen for 2 seconds.
Absolute lunacy. Please welcome D&D executive producer Greg Billsland. Make some noise.
Hey everyone, welcome to the blood-soaked world of Dark Sun, one of D&D's most iconic settings, and we are bringing it back in a big way as D&D's first mature rated setting. So much so that the lawyers told us we had to shrink wrap it and put a label over it. We've taken all of the things that people love
have
about
like a
Dark Sun, brutal stories
mature,
of survival and resistance in the face
warning
of tyranny,
only
and
on it.
developed art and game mechanics, all to realize the promise of this world. The dying world of Athos is a brutal place where survival is its
art
own
is
act of
freaking great, though.
defiance. Magic defiles the land, psionic monsters prowl the wastes, and tyrannical sorcerer kings rule through power and
person's
fear.
holding a skull.
And I am excited to share with you today
On a
some
spine.
first looks at some art from the books. Here is the flicker of freedom in this dying world. Its sorcerer King Kalik lies dead, but the city's revolution
Maximum 90s?
continues.
Yeah, you mean the decade.
Tears flames
I
forge its
I
future
agree.
and burn any who sympathize with tyrants.
There's
in
like a Mad Max
life,
vibe
gravity, and reality bend for the lunar god king Lifebringer, who demands sacrifices to fuel its dark omens and inscrutable ambitions. And in gold, life and death blend together under the sorcerer king Lalipui. The city's tree towers and corpse plant guardians
You
feed
mean my curse
upon the
when I say
spirits of the
something,
willing
it proves to be
and,
wrong
of course, the
instantly.
unwilling. Uruk
pretty bad curse
is
to
a
have.
brutalist engine of war driven to conquer by its sorcerer king Hamanu. As the world of Athos burns, Hamanu and the Uruk march to conquer the ashes. And in Rom, every day is the last day. Here, consequence and taboo lie scattered upon the streets, and debauchery can be had for the price of coin
These walkways look like
or
tongues.
flesh. And in Nibene, scions and scholars alike grasp at secrets from a forgotten past. They join their minds with their sorcerer king in pursuit of alien glories, seeking to outwit mortality. And last is Balak. It is what comes from a tyrant's reckless pursuit of power. It is a wasteland dominated by bizarre and deadly remnants of mad ambition. Darkson is a gritty, mature setting for those who are willing to step
it's given
into
like Mad Max
this
and like
world.
Warhammer.
We have 3 books: Blood and Power, Edge of Oblivion, and a limited edition player's handbook with alternate art for Dark Sun, representing over 400 pages of content, all coming in 2027 in the season of survival.
2027.
If you want to learn more, dungeonsanddragons.com/Darksun. Thank you so much, Gen Con.
Woo! Greg, thank you so much for joining us. One more time for Greg Billsland, everybody. Thank you.
The hype stuff is so fun to me. I would love to see a keynote where they're like, don't clap, and we're going to give you the most monotonous presentation you've ever seen, and we're just going to show you the guts.
Breathes Dungeons and Dragons, the executive producer of D&D Beyond,
Yeah,
Brian
wanted to feel
Perry.
socially awkward at
Make
a
some
TTRPG
noise.
table. We have the setting for you. It all depends on how much nudity is in that book.
9 years ago, D&D Beyond launched with a mission to make D&D easier to play. And then we forgot. We forgot our mission. But I'm back here tonight to talk about how we're going to make D&D easier to play together. Yes, we're adding one word to that mission. So tonight, I want to talk about together. That magical ingredient that makes D&D and tabletop role-playing games good for us, good for humanity, it's the people around the table. That's what we've been talking about tonight. And getting to play in person, getting to be present, that's the ultimate state. But it feels harder than it's ever been in our lives just to get together, and we all want it. That's what we want to focus on D&D Beyond, together. And we're going to start with connect and play. Let's talk about connect, because that starts right now with the launch of dndbeyond.com/LFG. If you are having a hard time finding people to play D&D with, this is your hub. First, for players looking for local communities.
Honestly,
today,
this should have been
we
in
are
D&D
launching
Beyond
a dedicated
a long
D&D
time ago.
event finder. And now WPN stores can post local events right on D&D Beyond. And you can find your next local group all right here. This is just the start of what we want to do for local game stores. Now, for players that can't find a local group, we want to make sure your first game is awesome with the best professional dungeon masters. So today we're also announcing a partnership with Start Playing.
Start Playing are doing a lot of stuff
And
right.
for a limited
They're getting
time,
everywhere.
players can feel confident they're going to have a great first experience with one of Start Playing's top DMs for just 99 cents. So also for players who use our D&D Discord server, there's also a totally rebuilt, dedicated looking for group section coming soon. All of this and more are available right now on dndbeyond.com/LFG.
I want to play around with the Discord stuff.
All right. I want to talk about play next, because over the next few months, we get to roll out some of the top requested features that will make play with D&D Beyond easier and better, including rebuilding site search, one of our top pain points by far.
Insane.
By far. We also have new
Fix
DM prep
the
tools like a
search.
scene manager, map pins, and bookmarking, and DM tools that don't require you to use maps, so you can run encounters and manage your sessions without having to launch a VTT.
We had that. We could do that. You took it away from me.
Now, let's talk about
And now you're giving it back.
play, because, look, most online tools are
And making me
optimized
say
for big
thank you.
screens and virtual-only play, but we care about together. And so what we really want to do is help make in-person play better together. So that's exactly what we're focusing on with a brand new app built on top of a brand new D&D game platform.
Yeah, I'm having
This
serious
is the first look
issues with
at
my
an early
YouTube
prototype
and
of a
chat.
new
So
D&D
if you go
Beyond
on
Play
YouTube,
experience
I apologize.
coming to mobile first and other game platforms after.
I can see that
Here,
on
we started with the idea
just said stuff.
that the tech at your table should actually reduce your distractions
Dude,
and keep
I
you
actually think this
present.
looks sick.
We don't want your phone to copy or replace any part of your tabletop experience, from the books to the minis to the snacks.
I'm actually,
What we
I think this
really
looks
want to do, actually, is give you all the depth and intricacies of playing D&D so that you can focus on what matters, which is what is happening at the table right then and there. That's also why we spent almost 2 years now
Ricky,
working on a new rules engine that
be
truly understands
nice,
D&D
otherwise
and
there will be
able to
consequences.
support every single rule over time. This is the new D&D Beyond Play experience that respects that you are here to hang out. Our plan is to roll out a very early version of this in early 2027, then iterate, improve, and add features with your feedback. Look, we are super passionate about this cause, and this has been our general philosophy, rolling these things out. But sometimes we're just going to get things wrong. That's where we really appreciate your
mobile
feedback.
D&D
and then we
only
make it better.
$19.99. We'll see.
So
It
I
looks
wanna
good.
thank you
Honestly,
all
the
so much
mobile
for sticking
app
with us
is
on
so
this
bad
journey.
right now,
We'll
and
have much more to share.
the idea that my
everything I
players
discussed
could just
in the next
use
few
like
weeks.
a
Thank
super
you.
simple interface is like, this is what D&D Beyond should. And they're at the
Make some
table.
noise for Brian, everybody!
They're not getting distracted by anything. It just
Now,
helps them play the game
J-Con,
better. Bring it on.
Please welcome to the stage your new favorite warlock, Trisha Helfer.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here today. As you may already know, I play Katri, the lead character in the upcoming
video
third-person
game,
action-adventure game Warlock, set in the D&D universe. One of the reasons I fell in love with this role is it's such an emotional journey, full of inner tenacity and grit. And, of course, that Katri is such a badass. But even a badass needs a little bit of help sometimes. Everyone here knows that what makes a warlock is the pact. It's what gives them their powers and is an integral part of what makes them unique. And that pact is with a patron, a being of real power who grants you the ability to wield
Who do you think
magic.
the patron's going to be?
Ever since we announced the game, one of the main questions people have asked is, who is Katri's patron? Well, today we're going to answer that. Yes, but to do so, I'm going to need a little help. So please join me in welcoming the fabulous Maggie Robertson.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Thank you, Trisha. So, some of you might recognize me as Lady Dimitrescu in Resident Evil Village. Yes? Good. Some others of you might recognize me as Orin the Red in Baldur's Gate 3. Yes, she is a character players love.
I almost did
hate,
a bingo
or
for
love
this,
to
and
love,
one of my things was
depending
going
on
to
what
be
you're into. We
Baldur's
don't
Gate 3
judge,
reference.
okay?
And we definitely would have nailed it by
But
now.
for now, I am taking on yet another iconic D&D character, this time a creator of spells, a keeper of magical artifacts, and one of the most cunning creatures you will ever meet. The extremely powerful Archfey, Tasha!
And S-Man, you nailed it. This is the second time Tasha's been mentioned across these books.
So, Why has Tasha decided to be Katri's patron, you ask? Well, we have many more reveals to come, but I can say this for now. Above all else, Tasha respects strength. She recognizes that Katri is someone who is determined to get what she wants at any cost, which Tasha knows can be used to her advantage. So, you best believe I ain't gonna be helping you with squat unless there's something in it for me, okay?
Yeah. Katri might have her own thoughts on her relationship with Tasha, but we can save that conversation for later. Also, that's a cool image and all, but can we get a look at Tasha's face?
No. We're going to save that surprise for our gameplay reveal, but you won't have to wait too much longer, as we will be revealing gameplay for Warlock in just a few weeks at Gamescom, opening
give me
that
gameplay
live
now.
on August 25th. So, I better see you all there, or else.
We can't wait to show you the game and share more about Katri's
and Tasha's
adventure. Thank you all for having us, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Is Tasha a part of D&D lore or something? Yeah, she's a pretty big character.
All right, Dan, we're more than halfway through. Are you finally ready to talk Season of Champions?
Yeah, I am. I know you're excited about this one, so by all means, do the honors.
Best kept secret at Gen Con. Roll that trailer.
They like rolling dice in these trailers, man. It makes sense, though. This is the big one.
Fucking cool, right? Gen Con, please help me
Ooh,
welcome
Blizzard,
to the stage
how dare you
Blizzard
talk about my
Entertainment's
Overwatch mummies
executive
and daddies
producer
like
of
that.
World of Warcraft, Holly Longdale.
I'm just gonna do this to start. Can I hear who's for the Alliance? And Dan?
For the Horde?
That's the biggest reaction I've got from the crowd all.
So we're going
All
from
note.
the PC to the desktop. Holly, what can fans expect?
A lot, so much adventure, so much imagination, so much fun. When we hear about partnerships, you hear about a perfect match. This was just so obvious, especially with WoW. And we've got over 20 years of lore to play with. So we're really excited to be able to share this, especially given D&D are all about playing with friends, and WoW is playing with friends. So we can't wait for all the adventures we're going to have. And I want to see you at the table. It's going to be great.
World of Warcraft and the Season of Champions will offer players everything you need for your D&D sessions in Azeroth. And we're just getting freaking warmed up, gang. We'll have our gameplay expansion, the map pack, minis, and a DM screen.
I know, right? We can promise you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. Does anyone here know Illidan's
Yeah, it's going to be a WoW setting book.
Oh my God, that's amazing. All right, yeah. So lots of favorite locations and everything you need to recreate your main character or roll a new alt or maybe even try something new.
New combinations like a Demon Hunter Tauren?
That's ridiculous. I'm thinking more like Undead Paladin for me. Ooh.
All right.
Yeah, you can do whatever.
There's some people.
It's your imagination.
People in this room that can definitely get weirder. No. The book features 16 World of Warcraft species, including 11 that are new to D&D. Rules for playing all 13 WoW classes, with 6 new subclasses, 3 updated subclasses, over 40 specializations, 50 new monsters and iconic bosses with stat blocks, and over 25 new magic items, dungeons, mounts, companions, and more. And the best part is it'll be in your hands this November. I even hear that there might be a display with everything we showed here around and some other surprises at the Hasbro booth and the Gen Con floor. So go check that out. Oh, and by the way, you can frickin' pre-order right now.
Like, if you're a WoW fan and a D&D fan, this is phenomenal,
really,
right?
For the Alliance.
For me, I like the idea. I'm not a huge WoW guy, but I love the
Holly,
idea
so
of getting a new setting that's so built out that I can explore. So I'm for this.
So we talked about ensuring there's a D&D for everyone. We kept coming back to the fact that there's some amazing properties out there that naturally lend themselves to D&D, like this one. So like an excited kid with all these toys to play with, we started to think about what sorts of other combinations would make the most sense to deliver some incredible D&D experiences, settings,
a huge WoW guy because it's pretty much D&D.
Today, we're announcing Dungeons & Dragons Universes Beyond. A hand-picked collection of some of the best collaborations across gaming,
even though it's an MMORPG, I just feel like
so
many people are just doing their own thing.
Starting with Dungeons & Dragons World of Warcraft, we're going to aim to bring D&D to fandom from all corners of the world. Universes Beyond connects D&D with other beloved universes to make thrilling settings and adventures in places you've always dreamed about. D&D is for everyone, and Universes Beyond will help reinforce that. You know, I also get really excited about how this can help bring new players to the table by letting them start with universes and characters that they already know. But one thing I do want to make sure everybody hears, this is additive to the roadmap we have for our own worlds. We are expanding what D&D can be, not taking anything away. And we've been staffing up specifically to support this initiative and look forward to what the future holds.
I think they're worried about people thinking.
It all starts with our Season of Champions,
that
where players will get to pick up their D20s for the first time
Beyond
and
is going to take
roll for the
away
fate of
from like
Azeroth.
other stuff.
Thank you. Make some noise for Dan, people! You know what, everyone? As a newer D&D convert, one of the things that's amazed me the most is the creativity of the
We
D&D
had a whole
creators.
Minecraft D&D. I
Whether
forgot
they're
about
working
that.
solo or starting their own companies, the team has got big plans with these incredible folks. And to talk about it, please
Most people are really upset about Universes Beyond and MTG. Yeah. Right, I think there's 10 more minutes left of this. We'll talk about that afterwards because I've got some thoughts on that.
Thanks, Theo. Speaking of roadmap, for our own worlds, we've been thinking a lot about how we better support our dungeon masters with the settings they love. Players shouldn't have to wait decades for us to go back to settings like Dark Sun. And we should be making it easier for everyone to play in the worlds that they love with great adventures. The problem has been we only have so many people on the D&D team, and supporting every one of these settings is a little challenging. So now, today, we are announcing 3 new partnerships in which we're bringing incredible studios on to create official content for D&D. Next year, we're going to return to Ravenloft and the Domains of Dread with an official book from Ghostfire Gaming.
Awesome.
Then, in 2028, Visionary Productions is going to deliver us a thrilling Eberron adventure featuring beloved villain, the Lord of Blades. Woo! And we can't wait for you to see what's being cooked up by Kobold Press as they go to the Forgotten Realms in 2028. Each book is going to be available both physically and digitally.
Can we expect anything focused on Baldur's Gate? Just asking for a friend.
No, it's always possible, Theo. These are the first of many of our partners that we're hoping to bring new settings, bringing you the settings that you love and deserve every year from some of the most talented creators across the TTRPG industry. And we are just getting started. Thank you all.
Make some noise for Greg, folks! Okay, we are about ready to wrap things up, ladies.
Theo. Yo, T.
Yo, who's that? What, Deborah?
T.
Yeah? Oh, here we go.
Deborah Wild, your friend and legendary D&D player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Just,
What's up? What's happening?
In the middle of a live show, and
right.
you know, you're kind of interrupting my flow state. You know,
Yeah, no, and you are doing so well. Well done, really. But yeah, actually. But I am here to talk about a little something called Dungeon
Zelda would
Masters.
go hard.
Don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah?
Oh, Dungeon Masters.
Dungeon Masters, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, oh, by the way, I locked Dan Ayub in the bathroom, so we have like a little bit of time, so let's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, look, okay.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
The cast of Dungeon Masters, everybody. We have Deborah Wild, Mayana Berin, Jasmine Buller, and Christian Navarro.
Hi, everybody.
Wait, where's Neil? Neil Newborn?
Who? Did he not make it? Oh, Neil. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you guys. He's actually on a plane right now. But it's fine because we are here to bring him in spirit.
Oh.
Yeah,
Best Neil impression contest, go.
Okay.
Careful, I
fight.
fight.
Oh, careful, I
Good, right?
fight. Careful, I sail. England.
Oh, that was good. That was good. I like that one. I like that one. Oh wait, but sorry, Theo, I totally derailed us. We got the bit we got to do.
Yeah.
Hello, Gen Con 2026. Thank you so much for letting us invade your stage and for watching our little show.
Thank you.
Look, the teleprompter's gone. So, yeah, we have a show. It's on YouTube, Campaign 1, Campaign 2. You can all go watch it. And from all of us and everyone back there, thank you so much for all the love you're showing it.
Yes.
Dude, the idea that when they're like the teleprompter's not working or they can't
also,
see it, you just know they're being
Can we
legit.
give it up for Jasmine Bular, the best DM on the face.
Make some noise for Jasmine, people. Woo!
And if you want to keep the love going, we will be performing live on this stage on Saturday night, so we will see you there or live on YouTube with the stream.
Oh, speaking of Saturday, Theo. So we actually have a spot open at the table, and we might have a spot open for the next 2 campaigns.
Oh, is this what we
did? Did you bring it? Oh my God.
Oh God. Okay.
What are they going to do?
So okay. So Theo, like we rehearsed. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Theo. Okay.
What if he says no?
It's okay. Let's stretch. Theo, would you do us the honor and make us the happiest nerds on earth by playing some D&D with us?
I will.
The problem here is not a problem, but
We've got you for 2 campaigns.
Dungeon Masters now has
And you know what?
3
You're gonna be so happy
Baldur's
you
Gate
said
3
yes,
voice
and you
actor
might wanna
casts on
download
there.
World of Warcraft because we're going to Azeroth. Woo!
And to finish out the year, we'll be taking some very familiar faces to Icewind Dale. Mysterious.
That's a mysterious icy wind.
That's the wind, yeah.
I love Lae'zel and all the fur.
Hey!
Yeah,
Hey, that's us.
are they playing Astarion and Lae'zel?
Oh, guys, I think Dan's unlocked. Oh,
I
thought you locked him in.
Oh, shit! Run!
All right. Always up to mischief. Always up to mischief. What do you think, Gen Con? Fucking cool, all right? All right,
I
big
agree, though.
finish.
I
Let's bring the
wish
roadmap
people
back
were
up.
more with these keynotes. You can have a
We're
script,
celebrating
be
our
very,
legacy
like,
with the Icons
honest
program.
and obvious about it, I
Returning
guess.
to Dragonlance and Greyhawk and doing big things with D&D Beyond.
We are going full Warlock, and Dark Sun is going to blow everyone's minds. And you know what? I still can't believe it, but D&D is going to Azeroth.
We're building partnerships with incredible D&D creators. Gen Con, this is our pledge to you. We heard you. We're showing up. We're showing up for the game, we're showing up for the community, and we're showing up for all of the people before us who spent countless hours making D&D what it is today. We're so honored, truly, to be the stewards of Dungeons & Dragons and to carry that mantle, ensuring that D&D is what its players deserve.
Cringy.
That's what a new dawn of D&D means.
I mean, it is just keynotes, though, right? Kind of.
Listen,
the culture of it.
Thank you all so much.
The worst
for
is
being
like
here.
award ceremonies.
Without you, none of this matters. It's going to be a wild ride, and we're glad you're all a part of it. Please check out all the cool stuff we're doing at the D&D Tower all weekend. Early copies of Arcana Unleashed and Arcana Unleashed Deadfall are on sale for the Gen Con faithful. So grab your copies, and important, keep your eye on the sky. Saturday, 10:30 p.m. for a very special thank you as the D&D team presents a love letter to D&D from Victory Field, just across the way from the convention center.
Fireworks?
You know, Theo, before we say goodnight, I just realized something. I think we forgot to explain what the Season of Rebellion is.
Are we allowed to do that?
Dude, we can do whatever the fuck we want. We're live.
That's how you kick off.
Should we do it?
Did not know about this. Okay, cool. Well, don't beat Vader. Wait. Well, I was not expecting that. Do you guys think that was Neil Newman?
Kick off Gen Con!
Let's get everybody back out. Come on out, folks. Come on, make some noise, make some noise. Thank you so much to our D&D family.
I was not expecting Star Wars.
In the audience, watching at home. Thank you all so much for being here.
I have to figure out some
Gen Con.
Well, here's why I actually think it's a good move. And why I think it'll be better than Zelda. One, because I don't think Zelda is a good fit for D&D as much. Like, it's... I mean, it is and it isn't. The world is a lot more simplistic, I guess. But this is a full fleshed out, hopefully, sci-fi setting we're going to be getting in 5.5e if it does Star Wars. And my ability to get my friends to play this game and get new friends to play this game, if I can say it's a Star Wars-based thing, is pretty solid. Though there is like a Star Wars RPG out there, so that's a little bit weird. It kind of reminds me of like when Soul Calibur had Yoda in it. There was a lot better energy at Darlington Press Card presentation. Yeah, but I mean, we got way more news here. I really did mean to go live on my main D&D channel, which has more D&D fans, than this one, which has more non-D&D fans. So I get that there's going to be a lot of criticisms of D&D and WotC in here, but I actually think that was pretty cool. Cringy, but cool. How do you guys feel about something like the Universes Beyond situation? And if you're a fan of like another TTRPG, think about how you would feel if that TTRPG said it. Like if Daggerheart did an announcement where they were like, we're bringing out 2 settings books, one this year, which is a World of Warcraft book, and one next year, or I guess maybe the year after. No, next year, which is a Star Wars book. It would be crazy, right? That would be crazy if Daggerheart did that. So like, I gotta say that's pretty. I think it's cool. Like how it's just them spoiling spoilers. I don't think other universes matter as much, because when I run a game, we invent a world together. Do you want laser swords in your world? You know? I get what you mean. I think for people who want to be able to play the game in worlds that they love, this is really big. Like, what's the Star Wars thing gonna look like? It's gonna be new classes and new species. Universes Beyond is fun until 5 to 6 books for the year is only that, and are designed badly to pigeonhole them to fit. So here's, I think, what I'm going to be keeping an eye on, which is the idea that these books have to be good. Obviously, Universes Beyond, because if you fumble the WoW and you fumble Star Wars, you're pissing off 2 fandoms, not just one. You're pissing off 2 fandoms. Not that, like, the Star Wars fandom overall will care too much about this D&D book, I don't think. But still, hopefully they put a lot of love and effort into it. And hopefully capitalism works here, because if they make it good, then they can sell a lot more, like tons. So make it good. Then the other issue which they kind of addressed is like, okay, but if it becomes really profitable to make a Star Wars book, then you just stop making other stuff and you'll just keep making these books, and they'll get more and more ridiculous. Like, we'll get a Transformers one, we'll get a Power Rangers one, we'll get, which people may love, but I mean, you're focusing on the wrong stuff and just going down this rabbit hole of just creating almost like theme parks rather than actual quality content. But that's why they've said that we're getting, you know, all these books coming out over the next 2 years in D&D settings, classic D&D settings, and they're partnering with other publishing studios to keep that happening. So we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out. Crossovers are fine for the one-off books, but their showcase seasons, it sucks. Surely a whole new system for Star Wars. Spells, classes, feats. Too far to stretch the system. I'm interested to see how they do it. If WoW ends up being good, then fair play. I want it to be good, but you don't have high hopes. I want it to be good as well. I mean, we'll find out. We'll find out in what, November? I feel like many folks are overlooking that third-party partnership announcement. That was pretty big. I think D&D has a lot of haters, and part of their reasoning is, 1, D&D is incredibly greedy. 2, it hates like past fans and is just trying to find new fans. And the other one is that it like wants to crush all opposition and destroy all third parties. And I'm not saying none of that's been true, but I'm saying that doing all this stuff helps like soften some of those criticisms, because now we're getting love for the older D&D stuff as well as love for third-party stuff. So pretty cool. Question, does that mean Edge Studios FFG have lost license to Star Wars RPG? If so, I hope Star Wars feels like Star Wars Sage Edition was like my favorite RPG systems. I have no idea. I doubt it. I'm sure this is like just a one-off thing. Can't wait for 5 different Marvel books. Yeah, I know it's thrown around a lot, like it's cliche, but the reality is if they do what they're saying they're going to do, then you will have a large selection of books to choose from, and you can just ignore the Marvel books, you know? If you don't want them, don't buy them, kind of thing. There's other stuff for you. Oh yeah, the Magic the Gathering, I know, I was wondering why, because I'm not a Magic the Gathering person, but what is the main reason Magic the Gathering fans dislike their universes beyond so much? Is it that they're making Doctor Who cards instead of making good cards for the actual setting? Is it, because for me, my main reason of not liking it would be like, I don't want to play Magic the Gathering and have like a set, like a setting which is fantasy and someone, you know, plays Doctor Who, the sonic screwdriver. That, it just feels weird to me, but I come from like this narrative immersive side. I feel like Magic the Gathering players don't play like that. It's not about like having a narrative or immersing yourself in a setting. I could be wrong there though. Because they don't make original settings anymore, and it breaks immersion. Okay, cool. So yeah, so if I don't see that happening with D&D, I think D&D is actually a better suited thing for something like this, because you just don't play in those worlds, and you just don't allow, you know, Star Wars characters or classes to exist in your game. So I think there's a lot more control over that kind of thing with that stuff. It's insane how by the end of the year you'll be able to tap Bilbo Baggins, Captain America, and Spider-Man to create the USS Enterprise in Standard. So that's a Magic the Gathering problem. But also, that actually sounds sick for D&D. If you were like, we're doing a one-off joke campaign, you guys are Bilbo Baggins, Captain America, and Spider-Man, you're creating the USS Enterprise, let's do a one-shot. That sounds freaking awesome. I think it suits D&D way more. Arcane and K-pop Demon Hunter setting, yeah. We'll see what they do. I'm surprised they got... Star Wars feels like such a pull. Nailed it on the MTG disc. When my Paladin Knight gets beaten up by a Ninja Turtle, it feels hurtful. Yeah, I don't see that being a similar issue with D&D, because D&D is so much more collaborative, and like, you just tell your players not to bring the Ninja Turtle class to this game, unless you want to. Hasbro's connections with Disney, yeah. Oh, what's he run Star Wars merchandise? I hope these books are just a list of subclasses, spells, and feats like we usually get. Star Wars requires something specially custom. Yeah, it's not that... that's what threw me. It's not the same as WoW, which I presume is very, like, vanilla fantasy, close to D&D. Like, even with very similar, like, classes already built in. But Star Wars is a bit more... like... no one's throwing fireballs in Star Wars. Really. Holy, oh, they should do an Avatar one. They should do an Avatar one. See, now I'm getting excited for this stuff. I totally understand if you don't want it and you hate it or whatever, but now it's making me think, as like a fan of many different IPs, if they do it well, I would love to see some really cool crossovers. Avatar is good, yeah. Problem is, there's an Avatar book. I can go play Avatar the RPG as a separate thing, and I don't know what this will do to those kind of games. It could like crush them, you know, if it's very good, but I don't think so. Star Wars requires an entirely new character creation system and player options. Yeah, I think there's... I don't think they're going to do that. We'll see what they do. I presume there's going to be, like, a lot of reskinning and a lot of just, like, smoothing things over. And just being like, oh yeah, I know it usually works this way, but let's just say it works this way, this for now. Which, as you know, sci-fi fans classically are just cool with you getting facts wrong. But out of pure curiosity, because we've got a bunch of people in here, and I think a lot of people don't really like chatting, but out of pure curiosity, if you like some of those announcements, can you put a 1 in chat? And if you like it, put a 1. If you dislike it, a 2. And if you're indifferent, a 3. I just want to see how many 1s we get and how many 2s. Okay, so 1's liking it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so mostly likes and indifference. Does anyone dislike it? Zero, I don't know the announcement. Mitchie, go to YouTube and rewatch it. I'm not going over it all. There was a lot there. Or go watch my latest video, which should have gone live, actually, because I was a bit sneaky. And threw together a video before the announcement. Once for Dark Sun, I'm psyched for Greyhawk. It sounds like they succeeded in what they were trying to do. Which is like, make something for a little bit of something for everyone. Dislike the Worlds Beyond crap, but lightsabers. I'm confident Dark Sun will be less grim than previous editions. I mean, maybe they'll up the ante in other ways. I think they can easily mess this up. Yeah, well, let's wait and see. You'd have preferred something unique and new, but that's not what D&D is for. Yeah. It would have been interesting if they did all that and then they said, like, also we're creating a brand new setting, which is here, just to like placate that side as well. But they gave us enough. I mean, to say D&D's been so quiet for the early part of this year and the end of last year, it feels like they're pumping a ton of money into almost refurbishing the brand. You wish you made that Dark Sun is not returning video. It would be so funny right now. Are you happy, Humble? Are you a big fan? I think so much of the art they were showing off was really good as well. And different too. Like, the Azeroth stuff looks very different from the Greyhawk stuff. And very different from the Dark Sun stuff. Will Darrington Press be word? I don't think so. I don't know if the idea that there can only be one, like Highlander rules with TTRPGs. I used to think that way because it's such a time-consuming thing that people will really only play one thing, and learning the rules and stuff is like, But now I'm coming around to the idea that, and I feel like more people are, that the future is like multiple games. I'm going to play this for a bit, then I'm going to switch to this. Then, you know, D&D releases a new cool book and you're like, I'm going to check that out and run a few sessions. And then I'm going to go back to whatever. I think Dark Sun has a chance to allude to current issues in a way other settings don't. Yeah, it also just looks like it's going to feel very different, you know? It's going to feel very different to play. Like, I don't know enough about Greyhawk to say specifically that it's not going to feel overly unique, but I feel like Faerun and Greyhawk are close together in that kind of fantasy world, you know? I mean, honestly, Down Express is leaving this con with better PR than D&D. Why are you even comparing that? What do you mean? Don't be a fanboy. Don't be a Nothing is worse than the goddamn console wars. Not what I meant. I've been to, and I think you know it. Adventure Time is an obvious pick for Universes Beyond. I mean, there's so much out there. What's a good horror setting for it as well? I'm trying to think. Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones. There's a few, like, I would have thought, like, Brandon Sanderson or even like Dungeon Crawler Carl's kind of worlds would be good, but obviously they have their own TTRPGs that, you know, I think are doing very well, so there's no need for them to do that. I think Descartes is really supporting GMs creating their own worlds, whereas D&D is like, here are our worlds, we want you to play in them. I think you're right, Lord. I think you've nailed it. I think that's a good observation. And I think that's fine. I think that's good. Oh, I see what you mean. There will be a lot of people who really hate on Universe Beyond. There will be a lot of people who really hate on it. But D&D is at the point now, unfortunately, where it's developed a crowd that... How can I say this in a nice way? They get off on hating things, and D&D is an easy target. And then it's also got a crowd of people who profit from it. There are like professional tweeters and rage baiters online who will make videos and do articles and play off that rage and make a ton of money. And it's just a cycle that gets worse and worse and worse. I'm looking at this like D&D's made a few promises that I'm excited about. Let's see how it plays out. That's how I'm looking at it. But I know a lot of other people will look at it being like, oh, they're gonna mess this up. This is bad. This is whatever. There are people who hate Universes Beyond until there is a perfect setting they want. There will also be people who hate it all and you won't ever change their mind. Generally, I hate crossovers, but I'm willing to hear them out before final judgments. Yeah, this feels different to the last time they did something like this, which was the Sigil VTT, where they showed off a Transformer in the VTT, and everyone hated that. And I think that was more fair, simply because they were selling Transformers in there. They'd be selling minis in there, and like it was such a money-making ploy. This doesn't feel like a microtransaction hell. In fact, there was very little mention of like a push for digital in that whole thing. Did you notice? I think they've learned their lesson. Apart from like the D&D Beyond stuff, which was also advocating for playing at the table. But if you have to play online, here's some options. So I think they're treating it more seriously, the PR stuff, than in the past, at least. Yeah, I don't understand rage basis. Life's too short to sit in such an angry state all the time. Some people love it. Some people just love to be angry. Unfortunately. And you know, I know when I do it sometimes, I have to stop myself. It's because I'm just awkward. And there's been a silence. And I just want to fill the silence. And it just comes more easily to complain about something, so. D&D does give you the choice of simply not using this stuff, unlike MTG, where you have to play it if it's strong meta. But I think MTG will be the main cause of the hate for sure for Universe Beyond, as they've done it super bad. Yeah, I hope they've like learned how to do it better. You know? And look, whether I like it or not, I think D&D and Hasbro is always going to be a money-hungry beast. Like, as a corporation, we know they're pretty capitalist. They want money. If they can make a lot of money from Universes Beyond, I'm like happy for them to do it, because that's not like going to negatively impact D&D that much overall, compared to like trying to make it all digital or trying to make it a subscription model or all that stuff. Let them make all their money they want, they'll be happy, and then they can concentrate on just making good products and making the game better. Because I do believe that's what they want. Like, maybe not the people high up in Hasbro, but I think the game designers of D&D and the main people who are like the driving force there, the creatives, want a good game. More settings is always great for everyone. Having more material to read than learn world design from is a treat. The inclusion of local stores is nice, yep. How many Universe Beyonds would be too many for you? That is true, because there is a limit. And it also depends, because if they choose ones I'm just not interested in, then it's too much. I think what it seems right now, depending on when the Star Wars comes out, is that we might be getting 1 a year or 2 a year, maybe. I'm pretty happy with that. As long as, and we're still getting a bunch of other, settings and books. The third-party books, publishers making it, in my mind, are still D&D books. So I'm happy for that as well. But I think more than 2 a year, I'm probably out skis. I think D&D versus MCG Universes Beyond is going to be a whole different thing. Like, you're not going to see Darth Vader inside of Faerun. Yeah. Unless you wanted to. And you can do that. But yeah, it's not going to be the same as what I presume Magic is, which is just like, don't play that card. I think that card's so dumb, don't play that card. You're not going to really have that moment of like, don't use that spell. Astarion's not using Force Pull. Unless you want him to. Hello again, I missed what the announcement was. There were so many announcements, Yip. So many announcements. I have a video all about it on my main channel. I normally buy every official book, even the MTG ones that I won't run, but I honestly think the WoW and Star Wars ones will be the first that I just don't bother with at all. Okay. Magic the Gathering has the benefit of being one and out. D&D won't have that. It's easy to become overcrowded when everything needs to stay in print. Kind of, but like, we had tons of books in 5e, and I feel like it wasn't too much of an issue. MTG was oversaturated with Universes Beyond in such a quick time. They started slow and promised it would be a reserved edition, and within 3 years, it's now 50% of the releases. That's crazy. Also, I don't actually know this about Magic the Gathering, but are there some players and fans of that who feel like they need to buy. Because do they do limited runs as well? Is it a feeling that they have to buy it? Because I can see that being an issue where it's like, yeah, but I don't want to buy anymore and they're so expensive, yet they keep releasing limited edition stuff. That's a problem. YouTube is throwing ads on this, so I miss what you were saying sometimes. Bloody algorithms. Nah, we like the ads over here. I think I like the ads. I think the more ads you watch on my channel, the better for me. So let's not bring that up. You know, if you subscribe, if you become a channel member, you don't get ads anymore. Just saying. Books released already in 5.5e. Ravenloft, Sword Coast, and Eberron book. New locations they announced are going to be exploring in the future: Ravenloft, Sword Coast, and Eberron. Yeah, but I want, if you, give me my words right here. If I'm playing in Ravenloft, which I am doing right now, and I'm running a multi-year campaign, which some people do, then I want more Ravenloft stuff. I like that idea that if I start a Ravenloft campaign, I don't like the idea that I'm not going to see a Ravenloft book again for 5 years. So what a day. 2 live streams in just one afternoon. I know. When I finished my last live stream, I was like very tired. I was pretty much going to nap, but I stopped myself because I knew I just wouldn't want to stream if I napped. Yeah. Also, Magic the Gathering is a weird one for universes because that's almost, it's a competitive game. So I guess if you want to have the competitive edge, you want the most powerful cards, and if they choose to like put good cards into those universes beyond stuff, that's the problem. But I think this is very different from Magic. Rosie announced, there's a ton of announcements. There's a Greyhawk book coming. There's a Dark Sun book coming. There is a God, what was the other stuff? Joe Manganiello has some merch that he's playtesting. There's third-party publishing books for Ravenloft and Eberron and Faerun, and there's a WoW book coming out, World of Warcraft, and oh yeah, there's a Star Wars book coming out. There's a Star Wars book coming out, which I dropped this video. They didn't tell me about that, so this video is just not talking about Star Wars, which is crazy. It's crazy that they do that to me. Dragonlance and Drit's back as well, yes, thank you. Yeah. No, this was fire. I think this was fire. I actually think if they do something like this every year, that's good for them. And an actual play. And they got another cast member from Baldur's Gate 3 to join the Dungeon Masters actual play. So now there is 3 of the Baldur's Gate 3 cast. And I predict in a year's time, it will have 2 more Baldur's Gate 3 cast members on there. And it will just be a Baldur's Gate 3 actual play. Especially like Jennifer English is over on Critical Role at the moment as well. Like that cast is just like taking over. They're great though. They are great. Like it is smart to capitalize on them. I'm worried that we're gonna be oversaturated with Baldur's Gate 3 stuff. They also made a weird a weird like nod to the fact that there's going to be Baldur's Gate 3 stuff in the future as well. So I wonder if they're going to do a Baldur's Gate 3 actual D&D book. This was their strongest showcase in years. Yeah, certainly since I've been making content, like since I've been paying attention to stuff like this. This is huge, and I'm probably gonna go offline or end stream and then go online and look at what other people are saying, and people are gonna be tearing into it for one reason or another. I've not seen it yet. I've not seen any red flags, personally. Shadow Harvest is all, yeah. Baldur's Gate 4 says on Tatooine. You see, you're making fun of this, but I actually love that this is now an open... Like, we can make fun of this in this way. We can just jokingly do that. Because I've always thought about this, because D&D isn't locked into any one setting, so it should be branching out a ton. I really want to see what they do with Star Wars. That is kind of my... If I could have any future book in front of me right now, from any system, D&D, Daggerheart, like anything, right now I'm most curious about the D&D Star Wars book. I would take that in a heartbeat. Not saying it's going to be good. I'm just curious. That's a good question, Dungeon Father Gaming. I don't know the answer to that. I think it's not going to be novels. I think it's going to be D&D based books, but it's whether they're like smaller adventures or they are digital only. We don't know about that. I also, yeah, Universes Beyond is a means to attract general audiences to D&D. You get fans of other brands aware of D&D. It's a collaboration. It's like me collaborating with other creators online and trying to steal their audience. But I don't think that's a bad thing. The more people we can get interested in D&D, the better, in my eyes. And I know a lot of people disagree with that, and they don't want new people. They don't want tourists coming in or anything like that. But let's share the wealth, for sure. If we apply Planescape to Universe Beyond, D&D is canonically allowed to invade any other IP without their consent. I was thinking that the WoW announcement would have some kind of, like, something happen on the WoW side, like the video game have some kind of thing, but I guess not. I mean, I guess it's a lot harder to do for them, and probably not worth it in the same way, but because that's what D&D were trying to do in the 5th edition era. They were trying to get into Minecraft and get in. Remember there was the Destiny 2 D&D thing. Guys, I have a real problem with saying like and I want you to know I'm working on it. So it's in progress, and I apologize. I was editing a video earlier from a live stream, and I said like 20 times in one sentence. It was not pretty. Like. Wow, website page for it is currently dead due to high amounts of people trying to get on it. Is that the WoW? Yeah, WoW website. BlizzCon in September might get announced. Ooh. Darth Vader takes off the mask to reveal he's Vecna all along. I think that was Neil Newborn in that Darth Vader outfit. Echo, what's going on? Hello, happy to catch the stream. The news is exciting. I'm very intrigued by the Greyhawk book. Yes. Echo, stop. My Alexa was just telling me about Greyhawk. Master Chief riding My Little Pony fighting Vecna. That sounds awesome, though. Oh, I was like, what's UB? But University Beyond, right. You want Universities Beyond to be less than 20% of D&D releases. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, right now, that's the case, seemingly. We'll see what they do in the future. It's a slippery slope. MTG was like that. Now it's half. Yeah. I don't want to sit here and tell you like, oh, it's not going to happen or whatever. But while it is under the same umbrella company, it is also a different division. So hopefully they won't do the same stuff. I'll tell you why it seems like they've learned, because they seem to be actively reassuring people that it's not happening currently. So they at least are aware of Magic and its problems with Universes Beyond. Call of Cthulhu. Didn't we get something like that recently? Going to be a strong 12 months for D&D for sure, especially with Neon Odyssey on the way. Yeah. Yes, I was just thinking about Star Wars and how I want to play a sci-fi D&D setting. But Neon Odyssey is obviously the way forward there. The only thing about Neon Odyssey is I don't know, I'm not part of the Kickstarter, and I want to buy it when it's released. Will it be in local game stores, or can I buy it online and all that stuff? I gotta look into. Cthulhu was in Ravenloft, yes. Someone Twitch said they want crossovers with other TTRPGs. That sounds fun. Did you all see the Daggerheart news? I saw it on Insta, but wasn't able to look into it. There's not much to look into. Goob. It was pretty bare bones as far as details goes. They were just saying that they're working on 6 books for the next 3 years, and they're going to be releasing 2 books a year. And then the rest of the stuff they announced was things like localization stuff, and trying to remember if there was anything else big on the Daggerheart stuff. The biggest thing was like that they're working on the books. Yeah, there's Call of Cthulhu content on D&D Beyond, yeah. There's Lord of the Rings content on D&D Beyond as well, I think. But those are all third-party stuff, and this is going to be first-party stuff. Foundry was a big deal, yeah. Yeah. Anywho, hold on. Leon, what's going on? Let me just grab a glass of water, and then because I've got more thoughts on this. Yeah, Leon, what's going on, man? I know the Pathfinder creators have ported a couple of campaign books into 5e already. This strikes me as an opportunity to get more of that kind of thing legitimized. Yeah, they've actually been quite smart. They've been slow doing it, but back when they were in the 5e days, they were trying to make a walled garden where D&D was this specific thing that would crush all the competition. So they tried to make a bunch of changes to D&D Beyond and to the open game license and stuff like that, where they could just demolish third parties around them and make more money that way. And that failed miserably. And it feels like now they're like, okay, if we can't beat them, let's bring them into the ecosystem and everyone can make money. At least that's why I hope is happening. I hope all these people who are partnering with D&D, all the third-party publishers and stuff, are like making way more money from it. What's the quick rundown on the announcement? Okay, so Greyhawk, Dark Sun, Dridstow-Erden, Eberron, new Ravenloft, new Faerun books from third parties that D&D's partnered with. Will from Baldur's Gate 3 is joining the cast of Dungeon Masters. Warlock the video game, the main character's patron is Tasha. There was something else in there. New World of Warcraft book coming out in November. And a Star Wars book. I think there was something else. What did I miss? Oh wait, is this a thing now? Digital book code includes a code to unlock a digital version of the book in D&D Beyond, plus access to all the book's options in D&D Beyond's full. Where did you read that? That's not a thing, is it? That's not a thing, is it? That is huge, if that's the case. That's not a thing. That is a lot. That is a lot. It's funny that we just got announced that Star Wars is going to be D&D now. Yet the thing that I don't believe is the fact that they are going to allow people who buy a physical book to download the digital version for free. That's crazy that that's where my suspense of disbelief ends. Magic Madhouse, what is that? Oh, it's only for the collector edition, looking at the pre-order listings, right? Ah, okay. Okay. God damn, if they did that, that would be... I'd love that if they came out and did that. Oh, well. I didn't realize that's how much I wanted that until you just said that now. I need a haircut, guys. I need a haircut. I need a haircut, and I think I might shave the beard off again. And be hideous for 2 weeks. But then look the best I've ever looked for 1 week. And then start to look slowly but surely a little bit more homeless. I look good anyways. Yeah, but man, do I look very, very good with about 3 weeks worth of stubble. Just before it becomes a beard, I look very, very good. This is hit and miss. I also just don't like it. And I can't trim it. You'd think the answer is just trim the hair down to where I like it, and therefore I never have to be clean shaven. But I've never been able to get the same effect from just trimming my beard as I have letting it grow out from nothing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the trick is or how to do it. And when I try, I go too close, or I take off areas that I don't want to take off, and I just have to get rid of the whole thing anyway. So I think it's fair to stop holding the OGL thing against them now. They're making good choices. Yeah, I think if you have such an issue with the OGL thing at this point, you're allowed to do that. If you were feeling betrayed, if you didn't like what they did, but you can just stop playing the game and stop talking about it. At some point, like, you have to stop thinking about your ex in that scenario. So if you're dead against D&D for something they did a couple of years ago, then be against it, but there's no need to ever bring it up. You just move on with your life. The Pinkerton thing is the funny one to me. The Pinkerton thing, when they sent the Pinkertons to some guy's house and they put their foot in the door and forced their way in and traumatized people who lived in this house because someone got a Magic the Gathering card early. I think that was it. It's so funny to me because the awful thing that happened was this one dude did that, and Wizards of the Coast hired the company, and the company allowed it to happen, and Wizards of the Coast allowed it to happen. But then everyone was like, and the Pinkertons are this awful, awful company from the 1920s, and it's the same people. It's like, come on. Come on, guys. There's no need to... We can just focus on what they did wrong. We don't have to make it 10 times worse. You kind of blanked on a Dungeon Master bit. Did they say they're doing WoW mini-campaign in September? Yes. They said they're doing a WoW campaign, and they're also doing a Faerun one after that, I believe. I feel this entirely is because you need like an in-between guard. Like ideal would be 2.5 or something. Yeah. If anyone doesn't have a beard or doesn't have any beard trimming issues, I apologize for this conversation. But for me, different parts of my... If I got a trimmer and put it at the same distance, like 2.5, different parts of my face just feel like in different places. So my beard's going to be uneven, if that makes sense. I don't know. I should talk to my barber about it. Get some advice. But yes, I think D&D is on the right track here. Even if it's just from trying to, like, good marketing. This has been one of my criticisms of D&D for a while, and it's that they're very bad at PR and very bad at marketing. They're very bad at coming up with something and then selling it to that audience. They're very bad at wanting to make changes and doing it in a way that doesn't cause some kind of massive kickback and scandal allegations. The D&D situation just got worse. Memes. It's like, why do they keep doing that? You can still do the weird stuff, but you don't have to put it out there in a way that's going to have this reaction that comes back to you. So this, for the first time, feels like they have actually thought of all the possible attacks that they could receive beforehand, and they've put stuff in place to stop that. So, Universes Beyond, that would get ripped apart if they hadn't said, we are releasing our normal our normal D&D settings that we own. We're releasing a bunch of content over the next couple of years of that. You are getting a ton of that stuff. So therefore, the Universe Beyond stuff won't eat into that at all. So they're sorted with that. They knew that people who are kind of the original guard of D&D would hate this keynote anyway, but then they bring out Gary Gygax's son and say nice things about Gary Gygax and get Joe Manganiello to kind of stand there threateningly, what a man's man. And they're kind of shut down a little bit there from attacking. They get the people who think D&D is going digital and they're trying to take away our books and they want us to all play online and they want to give us AI DMs. They took that criticism and they said, you know what, we're making D&D Beyond So it's better to use at your table with your friends in person, not digital. We want you to spend less time on this app than more time. So they are covering all their bases in a way that I've not seen before. I can't think of a legitimate criticism for this one that isn't they're gonna mess it up or they're lying or anything like that. Yeah, they're making good choices for sure. Also, if anyone has any questions, because I am part of like their creator program, I can get answers. So if anyone has any questions at all that maybe wasn't covered fully in this keynote, do let me know. I need to know if we can actually tank in the WoW book so bad. I believe, and I don't have a source for this, so you can take it with a grain of salt, but I believe that the WoW book is going to be more D&D than WoW with that stuff, if that makes sense. So it's not going to be like you can have 16 players come in to do a raid, to kill a raid boss. But I think they are putting stuff in place to kind of get a similar feeling. So it might not be that they're going to prioritize a tank and a DPS and a support in the way that you might expect from WoW. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. 100% just after the feeling. Just want a taunt effect more than anything. Are you a tank main, Infinite? Leon, I'm just wondering if there is any other reason than profit that there isn't digital license for physical books. The character sheets in D&D Beyond are, in my opinion, the best character sheets you can get. So there's no reason other than looks to get the physical books. My biggest issue with D&D Beyond specifically, apart from the fact that there are certain parts of it that are bad and need fixing, my biggest issue isn't so much that if I buy a physical book, I don't get a digital book. It would be nice, but I don't blame them for that. I kind of understand it a little bit. It would be very consumer friendly to do that, but they would also lose, if they're just looking at their net profits, they would lose a ton of profits. So I understand the reluctance to do it. It's like, hey, we're going to do this cool thing for the audience, but we're actually going to make a quarter of the money we made last year because of it. I understand why they're hesitant to do that. My issue is that I can't have PDFs on D&D Beyond. It truly is that I'm renting out those books, and I hate that. Or I'm not renting them out, but they exist on someone else's service, not mine. Which is, I hate that. Just give me a PDF, let me print out like parts of these books to have. It's kind of wild, that part. That's it. That part is honestly pretty gross when I think about it. That D&D Beyond is like that. And I think it's always been like that, like even before Wizards of the Coast bought it. But it's just, you just if I buy a book online, you would expect to get a download that you can look at without interacting with a D&D Beyond website or application. Kind of crazy. Oh, you're a healer of all things, but in D&D the closest you can get is Sentinel, and that's about it. Oh, do you mean to a tank? The way WotC handles digital and print is basically the same as how textbook companies handle it. How do you mean by that? I feel like if I bought a textbook online, it would be like I'd be downloading a PDF, right? Or no? That's what we're seeing with the gaming space right now with PlayStation. What are they doing? But I certainly had a moment where I remember wanting to, I guess, just not use D&D Beyond, but I wanted to look through a book that I owned. And I realized, oh, I don't own this book. I just don't own it. Which sucks. You don't get a PDF, it's through apps, and you can only print a limited number of pages. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. They should be hex doubling down on D&D Beyond, in your opinion. If they invested all they had into D&D Beyond, it could turn into the actual hub for all D&D. All third-party integration like Steam is for PC video games. Yeah, there was something I realized before when I was thinking about it that D&D Beyond just doesn't have, and I was like, it should have it 100%. But it's escaped my mind completely. What was I thinking about? There was something where I was like, why does D&D Beyond not have this very basic feature that would be like really good and make them a ton of money as well? But it'll come back to me. PlayStation is killing off physical discs and recently removed people access to stuff they paid for. Yeah, that is wild. That is wild. You want PDFs, but you understand that would supercharge piracy. I think people are still finding ways to pirate it. Yeah, importing PDFs to Beyond would be cool as well. It's gonna bug me so much now that I can't remember. What D&D? I literally, before I went to when I got a drink and went to the bathroom, and I was like, oh, I should talk about D&D Beyond and how it should have this, and now it's blanked me completely. D&D Beyond feature looking for games. That's coming now. That is one of the announcements. Yes. No, it's gone. It's gone completely. Oh well. What can you do? Okay. My latest video, the one I just put out, we'll see how it does over time. It's like doing well right now for my current channel. It's got 13.5% CTR, which is really good. But I did use a very clickbaity. I'm testing 3 different thumbnails right now, and one of them is just me looking at a tweet from D&D saying like, "There's a big announcement." The title is "They just changed 5.5e Dungeons and Dragons Forever." That is sensationalism. That is sensationalism. I admit it. Then I'm trying another one, which is just the tweet. And then my third one is me looking like this with the text, D&D, the leaks were true. Which I'm honestly copying rage bait people. The D&D, the leaks were true. And I want to see which one wins. It's not about which one gets the most clicks. It's about which one gets the most clicks, and then... I should say it's how many watch hours each one gets. It's on my... I'll be interested to see which guys you see. It's on my bonus reaction channel. Tell me what the thumbnail looks like of my latest video. Because these are the 3 thumbnails. Hold on, let me... These are the 3 currently. So it's all will be revealed. One tweet from them, me, just the tweet, and then D&D the leaks were true. Which one do you guys think is gonna win in that scenario? You have the middle one right now? Interesting. They did change it forever. The leaks were true. It's not clickbait, but it's definitely... it's definitely... I made it and I was like, can I even do this? Can I put this out there? Which is why I'm A/B testing it, because I was like, I can't just do the last one. Because also it's just going to attract people who hate D&D, and they'll click on it and it's just me talking about the new stuff in like a positive light, and they're not going to have a good time because they want to watch a video where someone's hating on D&D, and then they're going to comment mean things, and I'm going to have a bad time. And I'm just like, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where everyone's going to have a bad time. The third one will win. Yes, we will see, because it's not based on how many people click, it's on watch time. If a lot of people click on the third one, but then realize that I'm like not being overly mean and then click off, then it's going to have very low watch time. But if people click on the first one and then watch it all the way through, that will win. We'll see. You got 2 when you searched? Yeah, I think right now it's just showing them randomly. So if you like refresh, or in like 30 minutes, if you don't click on it, you'll see a different thumbnail. And then if you click on that, then it's like, oh, this person prefers this thumbnail. And then if you watch it all the way through, it's like, oh, this person prefers that thumbnail. And then I get the feedback. Seeing your face immediately connects the content to you and the channel just by a glance. Yes. The reason why I put the one in there without my face is because I'm wondering if I can attract a newer audience. Not that there's anything wrong with my current audience. Love you guys to bits. But I want to see if newer people are more willing to click on something, because they might not like my face. In before Universe Beyond is going to ruin D&D, to bet engagement all over YouTube in the next 24 hours. Yeah. Yeah. D&D is dead. The D&D scandal just got worse. How dare they? I started following you because you always have a kind face in your thumbnails, and I knew you'd be a positive place with a good community. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Em. Yeah. I'm trying to be. I'm actively making a conscious decision to be hopefully it's working, but I want to be an optimistic person in the space. And even if that means sometimes I'm like giving people the benefit of the doubt too much, because I've had that criticism before, or like I'm defending people too much or anything like that. But the reality is there's so many pessimists in the space, and if people want to just like rip apart D&D, they can go find that content that exists somewhere. It's going to be made, and that content is more profitable. I have dipped my toes in that kind of stuff before, and those videos do better and I make more money, but they're just not fun to make. They're not fun to be part of. They're not fun to get, like, to read the comments about it. So I'm kind of making a push to be a upbeat and optimistic person in the space. So we'll see how that goes. It's also just the way I often fall on these things, just trying to be a little bit more understanding about a lot of stuff going on. But I also want to be honest as well. So that's fair. I think you have a friendly face. Thank you, guys. He's trying to replace you. Yeah, if I can get rid of you guys and just get an entire new audience, same number of views, just different names there, I'll be very happy. I like your approach because as someone with 20 years in film, no matter how crap corps are, artists really do try their best in my experience. Yeah. It's hard to remember sometimes that there are so many people in D&D who genuinely care about the products and are lifelong fans, and when they are getting attacked, or their company or their division is getting attacked for being bad, I've seen people call them evil. Like I said, there was a tweet earlier I saw that was comparing Hasbro to Hitler. And it was genuine. It was genuine. There's so much hate out there. And I see the same thing for Critical Role and for Dagger Hearts. Just hate. It's just pure hatred. And I'm like, are we not all playing TTRPGs, which are, you know, about friends getting together and having fun and being kind to one another and understanding to one another and building each other up? How is the community that enjoy the game that we build each other up with so down to tear things down? You know, it's odd. What did you do in film? By the way, if you don't know, let's do some networking. I worked in VFX for 5 years before I started doing this. Yeah, just stay true to yourself, man. I think people will get tired of negativity eventually. Thank you. That much hate is intellectually lazy. I so uncreative, honestly. People forget there are regular people behind these products. Employees have limited power. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I've seen like new products being announced that could have worked, but they get so torn down by the community that they're doomed to fail. Like the PR around it is so bad, and that's been a shame. The reality is that the people who like give the most hate towards D&D aren't ever going to be a customer again. Like, D&D is never going to win them back. So the people complaining are kind of complaining for no reason except trying to ruin the fun for the people who actually like it. And then, well, no one wins again. No one wins. It's literally, if your ex broke up with you and you hate their guts, stop talking about it. Don't follow them on Twitter. Don't check out their keynote on the Dungeons & Dragons official YouTube channel. If you freaking hate Dungeons & Dragons, just move away from it. Hasbro is Hitler. That's what I heard. That's what someone said. In my mind, I classify negative content that is not constructive, complete brain rot, slop. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you're right about that, Leon. Like there's a constructive side of it. There is a side of it where people can be like, and there's an honesty side of it. Like with the Dagger Heart announcement today, that I was like, man, I wish there was more. I hope they don't do announcements like that in the future. I hope they give more details. That was like a negative comment, but that was just me being honest and hopefully giving good feedback for what I like. But there are definitely people out there who aren't in it for the feedback and aren't in it for being honest. They're just in it for, I don't know. I don't know what they get out of it, to be honest. Yeah, does content bring any value to the people involved? If no, then it's just the pleasure of hating. Yes, just to hate. And some people like to hate. And hey, don't get me wrong. The dark side is tempting. I've been there. I like a good bitch. I like a good bitch. I like gossip. I like that whole negative spiral. It's fun, but it's very much something that you have to be. You can't let it like negatively affect you to the point where it's putting you in a bad mood and making you comment on the internet. There it is. Hold on, I prepared for this. Am I slanted now? My camera, once again, has failed me and overheated. So now you guys have the beauty of this camera. That is sitting precariously on top of my other camera. And you can see the light over there. I brought out a Dutch angle. Isn't a Dutch angle just a slanted? It's a core part of being British. We love a good moan. Yeah. Yeah. I missed it. What are we getting? You think I would be good at this by now? We're getting a Greyhawk book. We are getting a Dark Suns book. We are getting some third-party, yet still official, Ravenloft, Eberron, and Faerun books. We are getting a World of Warcraft book. We are getting a Star Wars book. We are getting a number of new crossovers with different franchises in the future, though none have been announced yet except World of Warcraft and Star Wars. And we are also getting some D&D Beyond updates, including a new mobile app, which I'm actually quite excited for. What else? What else? Drizzt Do'Urden is in there somewhere. Joe Manganiello is in there somewhere. There was a lot. I have a video on my main channel, bonus reaction, that you can go check out. Let me know what thumbnail you see, because it's going to be one of these three. And so far, none of them are winning, but this one is pretty clickbaity, and I'm disgusted at myself for doing it, so I want to see if it does wildly better than the other ones. Oops. Didn't think that through. There we go. Can't see chat on the new camera scene. You ask so much. You happy now, Leon? You goddamn happy? Can you see chat now? Alright, sorted. Yeah, you can be the star of the goddamn show. Might as well not be here. Fars, what's going on, man? Is this BM? What does that mean? I should have your glasses. Can you make it bigger? I can. I won't. Make it a little bit bigger for you. But I just feel like I have to, stay inside at all time, and it's becoming an issue. Insider Matt, thank you for the follow. You're covering the Hope and Fear Deluxe box. Yeah, that's fine. Scoot over. How dare you? Oh, bad manners. I'm old, man. Hold on, let me get... I need to fix this chat. It's hurting my eyes how big it is. I'm overthrowing Gillian, I'm sorry. Your typos are larger now as well, yeah. Actually, I got so big that this is so hard to... There we go. Easy. I'm thinking about doing a stream. You tell me if this is a good or bad idea. Thinking about doing a stream. And Leon, this is important for you, and if there's any other mods around, this will be very important. If you're part of that stream, I want to do a stream where anybody who joins and talks, we roll a nat 20, and we can just do it on our rolling thing here. And if they don't get a nat 20, we ban them. So, hold on, let me go back to the other screen. There we go. Yeah, so the stream is called Roll a Nat 20 or Get Banned. And I think it would be funny. I think it would be funny because what we will do is we'll curate the luckiest chat. To chat in this live stream, you have to have rolled a nat 20. So we do that for an hour, and we'll only have like 5 people in chat, but they would be the Nat 20 crew, you know? Do you think that would work? Do you think that would go well? And then I would unban everyone at the end of the stream, obviously. It's not a permanent forever ban. Well, I was looking, and if you time them out, they can still watch the stream. But I've got a setting where if we ban them, they physically have to leave the stream, and then we'll have very few numbers. It will have a very low view stream, but they'll be the luckiest 3 people you've ever seen. Probably what Doug and Tia think is something similar with various silly coding projects. So this is inspired by Doug. 100%. He did a thing where you were banned if you like say the same word twice or anything like that. The only thing is, I want to make sure, yeah, if anyone chats, they get rolled on. But then I'd have to keep a list. But we don't have a ton of viewers, so I think it'd be pretty easy to do. We tend to only have, you know, between 20 and 50 viewers a stream. So, like, all at once. So you just keep track of them. Dirtball Hilarious, you need to give a fun perk for lucky folks. The fun perk is that they get to stay in the stream. If you get banned, you're out. You can't watch it even. You're done. Yeah, the announcement already happened, Carl. There was a bunch of stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy. One of these is not true. D&D is going fully digital with AI DMs. No. Yeah. No. This isn't going to work. I'll be completely honest with you. I was going to try and come up with 3 things on the fly that were all ridiculous sounding. But I'll tell you what the big ones are. There's going to be a Star Wars book in D&D. That's the big crazy thing that they talked about. That's when you demod them and throw them into the pits with those peasants. What about you rolling at 20, you become a mod? No, I don't want that. I like my mods currently. We should get people to choose one out of the perks or something as well before we roll, so you can choose expanded crit. Yeah, you know what's fun actually? We could have different numbers meaning different things. So if you get an 18 or higher, you can stay. But if you get in that 20, you can choose someone else to leave. We could come with a whole system. Yeah, that's the only thing. Because I'm excited for the Star Wars book. I think it's going to be fun. There's also going to be a World of Warcraft book coming out as well. But that's the only thing is, like, it does feel weird that there's a whole other TTRPG that does this. But it's just a sign that of just how big D&D is compared to all of the TTRPGs. That's the thing that saddens me. We need a D20 table sorted. Okay, we can do this in the future. I think the first stream we do is you roll a 20 or get banned. I think it's very basic. I think it's quite fast. It could be... Here's the fear. The fear is that no one rolls in that 20. So they all get banned. And then no one else joins. So it's just me streaming to either people who never chat or 0 viewers. That's the downside. So maybe... But the Nat 20 is such a good title. Nat 20 or get banned is a much better title than roll above a 15 or get banned. So maybe it's rolling at 20 or get banned, but we give you 5 chances, 5 rolls, advantage times 5. That way, it's kind of what 1 in 4 chance that you get banned, or 1 in 4 chance that you can stay. Sorry, rather than 1 in 20 chance you can stay. Like, if I just test it right now, do I have this on? Currently, do I have the... I've not actually tested this for a while. Does this still work? Oh, yeah. Well, I can stay. That was for me. I can stay in the stream. So now I'm going to do one for Infinite Consortium. You're out. Don't actually ban him, Leon, but like in this world, he would be out. Leon, you got 16 on there. Let's do one for Insider Matt. Insider Matt's gone. Let's do one for Humble. Humble's gone. For Cal. Cal can't stay. For M. Yeah, so the problem is that everyone would get banned. That's the biggest problem here that I don't want to deal with. But you'd all get advantage, I think. So you'd get 2 rolls. So you'd still be out. And 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 it's in that one. How did I roll in that 20 on the first one? That's crazy. Alright, I'm done. I'm done rolling. It's a hard game. It's a hard game. If I had 1,000 viewers, I'd be more confident to do it. But when I have 17 viewers on YouTube, there's a good chance that I just ban all 17 viewers, and then I don't have any more viewers. Nat 1 is no unban. Nat... Whatever? That's hilarious, actually, yeah. Yeah. Now, if you roll in that 1, I'm never... You're banned for life. Oh, Jams TV. Let's see how you do. Yeah, you're out. You're out there. You get banned. You need a nat 20 to stay. We're not actually doing it. Do not worry. Test for a future stream. I think, potentially, we have to make it 18 or higher. Or... maybe the DC changes throughout the stream. Maybe the first chatter just has to get... or like the first 10 chatters just has to get above a 5. And they can stay. Then the next 10 chatters have to get above a 10. And they can stay. Then above a 15, they can stay. And then at 20. Oh, okay. Then they can stay. That way, everyone who comes in early and gets the easy mode rolls will feel the need to stay the whole time because they're part of this exclusive club. And then I trap them and they can't leave and my views go up. Even though I'm banning so many people and my views are going down. A modifier is solid. Yeah, a modifier is solid. I don't know people. Wait, it's trick. I've not. Okay, it's trick. You get a roll. 5. I just swear nat 20s are easier to get. And if we do dagger heart rolls, you just got to get the same number twice. And there's a higher chance of that. But even then... oh, that was a crit, actually. The 2 1s. No, it wasn't. It was a 1 and a 9. Forget it. Forget it. Can I add my initiative? If so, it's -2. So you would need to roll a 22 to stay in here. Do I always try to do a chat players D&D thing? And you have various bosses. If a group of 5 spotlighted heroes, when the chat members selected for the party for the boss, they fail, they get banned. Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's the only logical way to do it. Hold on, tweet. What is? What's the only logical way to do it? What did you say? I can't see what you said. This is my fair move. I know. I'll take you back to aviation. I'll circle back. EOD Monday, and have an answer for you guys then. No, but maybe instead of banning them, you mute them. I like that, but there's no stakes as far as I want the stream to have a low viewer count, so that the people in there is truly like the best of the best in there. I think we try it. I think we try it next time. Just a temporary, like, try it for like 20 minutes near the start of the stream, or the end of the stream. And that way we can kind of be like, Okay, I'm just going to end the stream because no one's spoken for 12 minutes. The best of the best. The best of the best, based on luck, unanimously voted, picked out of a hat, which is a Dimension 20 reference. Keep a kill count in the title as well. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Nat 20 or you get banned. Only 5 people can chat in this stream right now. Or something like that, right? That's good. Yeah, maybe what I do is I let a number of people in, and then they're safe. And then we start doing it after the number of people are in. That way we have like a ground floor of people. Yeah. Because I get told on here when a new chatter says something. Someone hasn't talked yet this stream. So I just have to keep track of that. BC20, you get a bonus equal to the months you've been subscribed. Yeah. Oh, subscribe. Yeah, I would say subscribers are safe. Right? So what happens if I ban a subscriber? No, that's good. Yeah, let's make a quick book here. Let's paywall the stream. I like that a lot, actually. Subscribers and channel members on YouTube. Give me money and you get a plus 20 to the roll. Alright. Well, on that note, I think I'm done. We came here to talk about some D&D announcements, and we're all out of announcements. Even though there was a lot of them. 10 gifted equals unban. Yeah, I wonder if you can still sub if you're banned. Alright guys, it's been an absolute pleasure, as it always has been. Second stream of the day, done and dusted. I really meant this to go live on the other channel, but it is what it is. But I've still had a lot of fun. So I will catch you guys next time. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I hope you forever roll crits.